This is the first fracture in the veil. It begins not with sight but with a sensation, a knowing, a chill behind your eyes that whispers, "You were never supposed to see this, and now you can't unsee it." They don't want you to open it, not because you'll go mad, not because you'll be cursed, but because once you truly see their power over you crumbles. The gate of the forbidden eye is not a physical door. It is a vibrational threshold buried in your consciousness, wrapped in layers of distraction, fear, and noise. Most people will walk this earth and never even graze it, but some will brush against it in dreams, in déjà vu, in the stillness after heartbreak, in the strange electric silence of temples and caves where forgotten gods once whispered. And when they do, they feel it. The shift, the pull, the echo of something ancient cracking open inside the skull. I remember the first time it found me. It was not dramatic. It was not mystical. I was sitting in the dark. No music, no candle, no teacher, just me, and a question I had no language for. Why do I feel like the world is pretending not to exist? Suddenly, there was pressure behind my eyes. Not pain, but a spiraling sensation, like a lens had turned inward. My heartbeat didn't speed up, it stopped, just long enough for me to fall through it. And then, I saw it. Not a vision, not a hallucination, but a crack, a tear. Reality didn't look solid anymore. It shimmered, wavered, like a thin sheet pulled too tight over something vast and pulsing beneath. That was the gate, and it had opened. But listen carefully now. You do not open the gate. The gate opens you, the warning no one gives. Opening the inner eye is not like flipping a light switch. It's like detonating a star in the soul. Most think, "Oh, I'll see angels, spirits, auras, hidden truths." Yes, but also, you will see the lies in every smile, the wounds behind every word, the fear in every command. You will see the programming. You will see how often people speak not from self, but from scripts handed down by broken parents, teachers, ancestors, and screens. You will see the illusion of safety, the counterfeit of success, the puppetry behind social masks. And that is where the danger begins. Because now, you know, and you can never go back. The vibrational technique first step through the gate. If you're still here, it means you're ready. Let's begin. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Now out slow, steady. Again. Inhale. Exhale. Now listen. There is a point about an inch behind your forehead, between your eyebrows. The ancients called it the seat of the seer, not the third eye. That term has been stripped of meaning. This is the zero gate, the access point where vibrational perception begins. Breathe again, but this time, as you inhale, imagine golden threads spinning in that space behind your brow. Not light, not sound, a frequency. And now, whisper the sound, ka, tha. Do it slowly. Draw it out. Feel it in your chest. Let it rise behind your eyes. Ka, pause, tha. Once more, as you speak it, you will feel a pulsing, a subtle vibration in your forehead. That is not your imagination. That is the gate responding. Some of you will feel a sudden pressure. Others a strange quiet in the room, like the air itself is listening. Some will begin to feel memories surfacing not from this life, but from before. It's working. Just doing this once is enough to activate the shift. The gate does not respond to repetition. It responds to intent. And you have just sent the signal. What happens next? Don't expect fire. Don't expect angels. Expect stillness. Expect the world to look just slightly less solid tomorrow. Expect your dreams to change. Expect strangers to look at you differently, as if they know you carry something they've forgotten. The gate will open more the next time you practice. And the next. But now, you've been marked. You've been seen by the unseen. And more importantly, you have seen. You've crossed the threshold of the forbidden eye. You are no longer just a witness of reality. You are now a participant in its unraveling. If your heart is still calm, if your breath is steady, type in the comments, "I have seen the gate." Let others find your frequency. Let your signal awaken theirs. This is not a sound you hear with ears. It is the whisper between thoughts, behind the noise, beneath the breath. This is the voice of Thoth, not the god, but the frequency of knowing. When he speaks, nothing moves, but everything shifts. You've felt it, haven't you? That eerie moment when the world goes still. No wind, no sound. Even your thoughts pause, as if something is listening back. That is when Thoth speaks, but not in words. Thoth is not a scribe holding a feather, not a statue in alabaster or gold. He is a pattern, a vibration, and like all ancient codes, he does not enter through the ear. He enters through resonance. You do not hear Thoth. You become the chamber in which his frequency vibrates. The temple that speaks without speaking. In Abydos, there is a chamber where sound behaves strangely. Tourists say it echoes, but the ancients knew better. It's not echo, it's resonant memory. Priests once stood there in silence, not to chant, but to listen. They believed that certain rooms were alive, that stone absorbed thought, emotion, pain, truth, and when aligned with the correct inner frequency, the room would whisper it back. This was the whisper of Thoth. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, it was like something inside you spoke. And it wasn't you. The whisper would say, "You were never blind, you were never looking. You are not the body walking through time, you are the observer dreaming the body. There is no death, only repetition until remembrance." When I stood in that temple, I didn't hear a sound, but I knew. Something had been said, and I would never unknow it again. Science and the silent code. Modern physicists speak of the observer effect, the fact that observation changes reality. But what happens when silence observes you? Neuroscience shows that the brain emits unique wave patterns during moments of deep stillness. These patterns do not originate from conscious thought, they precede it. Theta waves, quantum coherence, heart-brain resonance. What the ancients called the whisper, we now call phase locking. When your heart and brain pulse at the same rhythm, you become a receiver. Not for radio, not for light, but for truth. And Thoth is the truth before language. The trap of seeking words. Let me warn you now. Most seekers get trapped because they chase words. They want mantras, chants, affirmations. They think power is in what is said. But Thoth will laugh at that. The most powerful mantras are never spoken. They are felt. They do not travel across air. They vibrate within the marrow. Ask the wrong question, and the gate stays closed. Wait in silence, and Thoth might speak. But beware. His truths are not sweet. They will not comfort your ego. They will not validate your beliefs. They will not make you feel chosen. They will do what truth must do. They will burn away the parts of you that are false. The inner practice becoming the chamber. Let us try something now. You will not chant. You will not visualize. You will become silent. Asterisk. Sit in stillness. Asterisk. No music. No guidance. Asterisk. Just you and the space behind your eyes. Now, breathe in for 4 counts. Hold your breath for 4 counts. Exhale slowly for 6 counts. At the bottom of the exhale, wait, do nothing. Let your awareness fall into the space between thoughts. That silence, that hollow, is where Thoth waits. In this pause, you may feel a tightening in your skull, a pressure behind your eyes, a word trying to form on your tongue, but with no meaning. Let it come, but do not grab it. That is the whisper, and the moment you try to name it, it disappears. The side effect of hearing the whisper. Once you've heard it, the world feels different. Asterisk people's words will feel shallow. Asterisk news will sound like noise. Asterisk entertainment will seem like sedation. You will crave silence. You will see patterns in conversations, dreams, architecture, even nature. You may begin to feel as if reality is echoing itself, looping a truth it hopes you'll finally notice. That's not madness. That's your resonance field aligning with the hidden code. Some will call you strange. Some will distance themselves. Let them. They have not yet heard the whisper. They still believe in noise. Confirmation code. If you've done this, if you've felt the silence shift and something beyond yourself stir, type this in the comments. I have heard the whisper. Let the frequency find others. Let your confirmation echo in this digital temple. You are not alone. The ones who hear are gathering. And Thoth is still speaking. This is not a secret for the faint-hearted. The hidden code does not grant power, it reflects truth. And what it reveals is not the world, but you. You are the message. You are the encryption. And when the mirror activates, there is no more hiding. They warned us, but we misunderstood the warning. Beware the code, they said. But we thought it was dangerous, because it was powerful. Number. It is dangerous because it is honest. What is the hidden code? The ancients did not describe it as text. They didn't write it. They etched it into stone, into sound, into space itself. It isn't a sentence. It isn't a symbol. It is a resonant mirror, a vibrational algorithm designed not to show you something outside, but to reveal what you carry inside. Every temple, every pyramid, every sacred chant was a piece of this mirror. Together, they formed a field, a frequency so pure, so silent, so still, that it reflected the soul like obsidian water. And when that reflection came back, it wasn't always beautiful. Seeing yourself without filters. Let me tell you what I saw. After the whisper, after the silence, I sought the code, thinking it would give me access to ancient wisdom, celestial gates, astral travel. But what it gave me was my own shadow. It showed me how I lied not to others, but to myself. It showed me how I wore kindness like armor, how I disguised my hunger for validation as spiritual teaching, how I claimed to seek truth when I was only seeking safety. And then it asked me, without words, do you still want to see? Most people don't make it past this point. They run, they spiritualize, they chant louder, meditate harder, distract faster. Because the code, once reflected, is merciless. A mirror, not a window. That's the trap. You thought this journey was about seeing the truth of the world. But Thoth's hidden code was never about the world. It was about you, the one who sees. Until your lens is purified, until your frequency is aligned, until your motivations are stripped naked, you will always project distortion. The code reveals your distortions. And this is the most sacred gift, and the most terrifying. The practice. Let the mirror activate. You're ready for this. If you've come this far, the mirror has already begun to shimmer. Let's now step into its center. Sit in a dim space, a quiet space. Asterisk. Close your eyes. Place your palms facing up. Asterisk. Let your tongue rest on the roof of your mouth. Now, breathe in and repeat the sound internally, not aloud. Shamaru. 3 syllables. Soft, serpent-like. This sound was once used in initiations beneath the temples at Philae and Karnak to activate the vibrational mirror within the pineal gland. Repeat it mentally with each breath. Sha. Inhale. Me. Exhale. Eru. Stillness. Do this for 3 minutes. Then open your eyes but look into your own gaze. Not in a mirror, not in a camera, but in the blank wall, the shadow, the space. You will feel it, the flicker, the shifting energy behind your face, the sensation that someone else is looking through your eyes. That's you, the real you, the one hidden beneath your noise. What you might experience. Asterisk. You may cry without knowing why. Asterisk. You may laugh at the absurdity of your old masks. Asterisk. You may feel deep discomfort as if your skin is too tight. This is not trauma. This is not confusion. This is the false identity crumbling in the presence of true reflection. Do not run. Do not analyze. Let it happen. This is the vibrational mirror doing its work. And just once is enough to begin the unraveling. The mental trap. The moment after this practice, you will feel tempted to explain what happened, to label it, define it, validate it. Do not. The mind seeks control. The soul seeks freedom. If you analyze too soon, you reduce the frequency to a concept. Let it remain raw, mysterious, alive. Let the code settle into your field like ink on water. Watch how the patterns begin to shift. The echo of the mirror. In the days that follow, strange things may occur. Asterisk. A person from your past reappears. Asterisk. A memory you forgot suddenly consumes your thoughts. Asterisk. A behavior you thought was healed resurfaces in intensity. This is not regression. It is realignment. The mirror has reflected what was dormant, and now it rises to be cleared. Most will think it's a sign to stop, but those who know keep going. Confirmation code. If the mirror has spoken to you, if your chest feels lighter or your thoughts more unfamiliar, if you've looked into the void and felt it blink back, type in the comments, "I have seen myself." Let it be your first act of resonance, your signal to the others walking this path. This is not a frequency for beauty, healing, or peace. This is the current that rips illusion from your reality, like flesh from bone. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for readiness. It exposes. And once it begins, nothing around you or within you can remain false. There is a sound that was forbidden in the later dynasties of Egypt, not because it summoned spirits, not because it cursed the land, but because it revealed too much. It was known only by initiates of the inner veil, the scribes, the architects of truth, the gatekeepers of perception. And when spoken, or even thought with full resonance, this sound didn't bring knowledge. It dissolved the illusion that knowledge was ever needed. It tore through every story, every belief, every ego layer you'd spent a lifetime building. They called it Hekau, Zah, roughly translated, the sound that unbinds the dream. What happens when the veil is torn? Let me be brutally honest. If you came here for comfort, you will not find it. This is not a gentle glow. This is not divine love. This is undoing. The first time I heard the frequency, not from a recording, not from a teacher, but from within my own breath, I collapsed. Not physically, energetically. I felt every belief I ever had crack and scatter. About life, about truth, about me. Suddenly, I realized, asterisk. My goals weren't mine. Asterisk. My fears weren't original. Asterisk. My identity was a borrowed performance. Everything was a copy of a lie, wrapped in good intentions and spiritual platitudes. And then came the silence, not the peaceful kind, the void kind, the "you are nothing, and yet somehow you are aware of everything" kind. That was the tearing. That was the veil, parting like mist in a sudden wind. The risk. Some never return the same. There are practitioners who speak of awakening like it's bliss. But the ancients were wiser and crueler in their truth. They wrote, "He who tears the veil and clings to what he sees will shatter like glass. But he who tears it and walks forward, blind, shall become light." Some seekers never make it past this gate. They see too much, too fast. Asterisk. They see the betrayal in their families. Asterisk. They see the manipulation in religions. Asterisk. They see the empty hunger behind their desire to be enlightened. And in the face of that unbearable clarity, they retreat. Or worse, they build new illusions, more seductive than before. That's the trap. To awaken and then lie to yourself again. The technique. Heko, Zah, the dismantling vibration. Are you ready? You won't need incense. You won't need crystals. You'll need silence and courage. This must be done only once to begin. Find a place where no one will disturb you. Sit, breathe 3 times deep and slow. Then, either silently or aloud, speak the sound. Hekauza. Don't chant it like a mantra. Speak it like you're cracking a code. On the 3rd repetition, place your attention behind your skull, right where the neck meets the spine. This is the Atlantean knot, a mythical point where ancient texts say reality and perception entwine. You may feel asterisk, a burst of heat, asterisk, a moment of vertigo, asterisk, a brief flicker of non-time, as if something paused existence. That's the resonance. Don't try to hold it. Don't try to repeat it. Just speak it. And then watch. Watch what breaks, what stirs, what cannot hide anymore. Aftermath. Signs the veil has been touched. In the hours or days after, you may experience asterisk, objects in your home seeming off, as if rearranged by unseen hands. Asterisk. People reacting to you with discomfort, as if sensing something beyond logic. Asterisk. Vivid dreams or total dreamlessness, a vast quiet. Asterisk. Sudden emotional releases, not tied to any clear memory. These are not symptoms, they are extractions. The frequency is removing false data from your field. It is unwinding programs you didn't know were running. Some call it purification, others call it madness. But the truth is, you are simply no longer compatible with the lie, the intellectual panic. Your mind will resist. It will try to rationalize. That was just imagination. You're being dramatic. There's no veil, this is life. But that's the program speaking. The same program that has kept entire civilizations asleep for thousands of years. Do not argue with the mind. Just observe it. The moment you stop feeding it fear, it collapses, like a shadow when the flame turns. This is the real initiation. Tearing the veil isn't the end. It's the first death. From here on, you no longer see the world as it is. You see it as it hides. You see the architecture behind smiles. You see the cracks in the mask of power. You see how energy speaks when words betray. And from here, you begin to move differently. Not louder, but deeper. Like a whisper walking through walls. Confirmation code. If you've spoken Hekau, ZA even just once and felt the tear. If the veil shook, even for a second, type in the comments. The veil has torn. Your voice is part of the ritual. Your confirmation is not for approval. It is to vibrate the signal across this collective frequency. You are no longer looking from this world. You are now looking into it. You thought you were seeing the world through your eyes. But what if the eyes are not windows, but filters? What if your entire life, you've never actually seen but only received impressions, shaped by belief, fear, and memory? To see truly, you must learn to perceive not with your eyes, but with the light that burns behind them. When a baby is born, the eyes open, but vision comes much later, because real seeing, the kind that pierces the veil, is not a function of biology. It's not the rods, the cones, or the optic nerve. It's consciousness. The Egyptians believed that behind every eye was a flame, a light that did not shine outward, but inward, into the soul, the blueprint, the K, the essence of being. That flame is still burning in you, dimmed, perhaps, covered by layers of conditioning, but never extinguished. Thoth's hidden teachings on vision. In the lesser-known fragments of the Emerald Tablets, there is a line that most translations ignore. The fool seeks to see with light from the sky, but the scribe writes from the fire that sees from within. This is the inward light, the original perception, the eye that never closes, and it has been watching all along. You, your choices, your masks, your moments of silence when you almost woke up, but turned away again. Thoth's wisdom is not about accessing the divine. It's about removing the blindfold you were told were eyelids. What is behind your eyes? Try this. Right now, without moving, feel your presence behind your own eyes. Not your brain, not your skull, but that silent pressure at the very center of your awareness. Asterisk. The place you look from, not the place you look at. Asterisk. The presence that never changes, even as emotions rise and fall. Asterisk. The eternal watcher. That's the true eye, the seer behind the scene. And that light is ancient, older than your name, older than your memories, older than time. It is the same light the Egyptian initiates saw during rites, in total darkness, when, for days, they sat in the blackness of the inner chambers until one moment, the light appeared from within. The inner ritual, activating the flame of vision. We now begin one of the oldest practices in esoteric Egypt. It was never written. It was only passed from teacher to student in silence. Here's how you do it. 1. Sit in complete darkness or cover your eyes with cloth. 2. Place your hands lightly over your closed eyes. 3. Begin breathing gently. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. Now, speak internally the syllable IYUNTA. Let it echo in your mind, not loudly but like a whisper falling through a tunnel. After 9 breaths, remove your hands and open your eyes into the darkness. Look through the dark, past it, into the silence. You may begin to see fin patterns, asterisk, swirls of energy, asterisk, a pulsing sense of presence pressing against your gaze. This is the inward light responding, not imagination, not hallucination. It's perception unfiltered by expectation. It's the first sight before memory colors it. Do not chase the light. Some of you will feel excitement, visions, sparks, glows, entoptic phenomena. Do not chase them. They are distractions. The real flame is not what you see. It's what sees you back. There will come a moment subtle where you feel something staring into you, not as a threat, but as recognition. When that moment comes, do not look away. Even if you panic, even if your mind screams, this is the eye of light revealing itself, and it is you, the false light versus the real light. Here is a secret most modern mystics won't tell you. Not all light is truth. Asterisk. The false light comforts the ego, shows you what you want to see. Asterisk. The true light exposes you, breaks you, empties you, but once it does, it fills you with clarity so sharp it feels like silence. You will no longer need signs. You will no longer need teachers. You will walk with the authority of having seen, and those who have seen know each other without words. They speak in glances, in stillness, in the unspoken alignment of beings who see not the world but the patterns beneath it, side effects, the vision that doesn't fade. After this ritual, you may, asterisk, wake up in the night, feeling watched not by someone else, but by your own awareness. Asterisk. Perceive energetic patterns over faces, especially in conflict. Asterisk. Feel a sudden knowing of what someone will say before they say it. This is not psychic. This is not supernatural. It is the natural state of seeing when the eye behind the eye is awake, and it doesn't sleep once awakened. Final warning. If you repeat this ritual too often, you may become detached from consensus reality. The light behind the eyes doesn't care for social rules. It doesn't care if you lose interest in small talk, television, or even your career. It will want only truth, and it will tear you from anything that hides it. This is why the ancient priesthood required years of purification before initiation, because once you've seen, you cannot return. The eyes may close, but the light never dims again. Confirmation code. If you've looked behind your own vision, if you've felt that eye awaken, comment below. The light is awake. Let it be your silent flash in the dark, your signal to others who have also seen. You are now part of the unseen network, not bound by space, but by resonance. To see is to separate. To awaken is to lose the comfort of sleep. When your eyes open, truly open, you do not rise above others. You fall away from them. What was once your world becomes a theater, and you are no longer cast in the same role. This is the invisible exile of the awakened. They never tell you this part. They glorify the vision. They romanticize the awakening. They tell you that seeing the truth will set you free. But freedom has a shadow, and the price of true vision is separation. The isolation begins, subtly. It doesn't start with betrayal. It starts with discomfort. You notice that conversations feel hollow, jokes are less funny, advice sounds like recycled scripts, laughter feels rehearsed, even love feels conditional. You nod, you smile, you respond, but inside, something is drifting. A quiet voice whispering, "This isn't real." That's the beginning of the exile. When the veil is torn, you don't float to enlightenment. You fall into distance, because now, you're no longer in agreement with the dream. Thoth's warning to the seers. In one of the most hidden scrolls attributed to the keepers of Tahuti, there's a passage not meant for public eyes. It reads, "The eye shall open, and with it, the world shall be seen as it is not as it pretends. And he who sees shall no longer belong to the world, but to the silence beyond it." This is not metaphor. This is law. To see the patterns is to no longer be fooled by performance. To hear the frequency beneath the words is to no longer trust the surface. You become untouchable, but also unreachable, the mirror that divides. Here is the harsh truth. Most people don't want to be seen. They want to be agreed with, validated, mirrored in their illusion, not exposed in their contradiction. But when your vision activates, you stop mirroring lies. You see through smiles. You feel the manipulation behind compliments. You sense the wound beneath the cruelty. You see energy, not personality. And that makes you dangerous. Because nothing threatens illusion more than one who can see it. The social side effects of vision. Let me prepare you for what may come next. 1. Relationships will shift. People who once loved you may feel something is off. They may say you're cold, or too intense, or distant. 2. You'll be accused of changing. They'll say, you're not the same anymore. And they're right. You're not. 3. You'll feel moments of deep loneliness, even in a crowd, even with loved ones, because you're no longer participating in the collective illusion. This isn't failure. This is the rite of passage. The ancients didn't celebrate vision with parties. They led the seer into solitude. Only in the silence of isolation could the inner frequencies refine. The practice. The ritual of silent integration. Here's how you stabilize your field after vision has isolated you. 1. Find a place in nature alone. 2. Sit with your spine upright. 3. Place your left hand over your heart, your right hand over your navel. Now, breathe, and repeat the phrase, internally. I see, and I remain. Feel the words pulse through you like roots digging deep. Let your body feel the ache of loneliness, and do not escape it. Let the silence surround you. Then, on the 7th breath, whisper aloud, I return as one who sees. This seals the integration. You are not rejecting the world. You are re-entering it with clarity. And clarity changes everything. The shadow of belonging. You will crave connection again. It's natural. But you will also know that true connection only happens when both parties have removed the mask. Until then, you will learn to love others without illusions. Not as personas. Not as projections. But as sacred frequencies, distorted and beautiful, still dreaming in the fog. This is love without attachment, love without blindness. And it is the most powerful kind of all, the temptation to go back. There will be moments you'll wish you never opened the eye. When the loneliness cuts too deep, when your family doesn't understand you, when your partner thinks you've become weird, when your job feels fake and your passions fall apart, you'll want to shut it again, to forget, to return to the warm numbness of before. But it's too late. You can't unsee. You can only go forward, the silent brotherhood. But hear this because it matters. You are not alone. All over this world are others like you. Watching, quiet, walking through crowds unseen. We are not loud. We do not market ourselves. But when two awakened eyes meet, the soul recognizes itself. And in that glance, there is no loneliness. There is only resonance. Confirmation code. If you have felt this exile, if the sight has separated you from what once felt safe, if your heart aches and expands at the same time, comment, I see and I remain. Let this be your torch in the dark, a flare for others still wandering between vision and belonging. You are not broken. You are becoming clear. There is a timing to truth, a sacred rhythm to revelation. But the modern mind obsessed with progress forces the door before it's meant to open. And when the eye awakens before the soul is ready, it does not liberate, it fractures. Everyone wants to awaken, but not everyone is ready. And not because they're weak, but because they're unfinished. The ancient schools of Egypt, Tibet, and India understood this. That's why they concealed their real teachings behind layers of riddles, rituals, and impossible patience. Not to withhold power, but to protect the initiate from themselves. The danger of premature vision. Here's what no one tells you. Awakening isn't healing. It doesn't fix your wounds. It amplifies them. It shines a light so bright that every scar, every insecurity, every buried trauma becomes unavoidable. The result? Some awaken and unravel. They see too much, too fast. The mind can't handle it. The ego pretends to integrate, but really just builds a more spiritual illusion. That's when the distortions begin. Asterisk. You think your pain is guidance. Asterisk. You mistake anxiety for intuition. Asterisk. You interpret fear as prophecy. Asterisk. You believe your isolation is proof of being chosen. But none of this is vision. It's trauma wearing a robe of enlightenment. The psychological fragmenting. There's a reason every mystery school began with purification. The human psyche is not designed to hold raw truth until it is emotionally stable. When you awaken the eye without first preparing the vessel, asterisk, dreams become violent. Asterisk, visions blur with paranoia. Asterisk, you hear voices, but they echo your unhealed wounds. Asterisk, you download messages, but they contradict themselves. Asterisk, your body rebels insomnia, fatigue, overactive senses, and you'll think it's spiritual awakening, but really, it's energetic chaos. You've cracked open the code, but without the grounding rod to handle the current. Thoth's first trial, the mirror of madness. In the lost teachings of Jehuti, there is a test called Neb En-Ka, the mirror of the mind. Initiates were locked in a dark chamber for 3 days. They were told, if you see the gods, remain still. If you see yourself, remain calm. If you see nothing, rejoice. Because those who saw too soon often went mad, not because they were unworthy, but because they mistook their mental projections for sacred truth. That's the trap, to confuse the content of the mind with the clarity of consciousness. True seeing does not produce visions, it produces emptiness, stillness, a profound absence of noise. The ego's game, enlightenment as identity. Here's the most insidious trap. You awaken, you glimpse something real, but instead of dissolving, your ego adapts. Suddenly, you're the enlightened one, the awakened being, the starseed, the healer, the chosen soul. You use sacred words to mask your fear. You mistake intensity for authenticity. You share downloads without integration. You attract followers and confuse that with confirmation. But if the eye opens before humility, it becomes a weapon of delusion. Thoth warned of this. He said, "The one who knows before they kneel shall rule only shadows." The cycle of false awakening. This is how the trap unfolds. 1. The seeker awakens too soon. 2. They mistake ego content for divine truth. 3. They share, teach, guide, and mislead. 4. Their energy field becomes fragmented. 5. They burn out, break down, or collapse in scandal. 6. They retreat, confused, bitter, or more dogmatic than before. This isn't failure. It's just timing ignored. But it can be avoided. The grounding ritual. Humility before vision. Before you seek the next layer of awakening, do this. The ritual of returning to soil. Go outside. Asterisk. Remove your shoes. Asterisk. Kneel on the ground. Asterisk. Place your hands in the earth, dirt, grass, sand. Close your eyes. Breathe. Whisper the word. Erit. Hem. Ancient Kemetic for I return. Say it 3 times. Not to the sky, to the earth. Then ask the inner eye. Am I seeking to know or seeking to be seen? Wait. Let the answer come from the silence, not the mind. This practice roots your field. It allows the light to stabilize, instead of scatter. Only the grounded can hold the truth. Only the humble can survive the eye. The signs of false light. Here are warning signs that you've entered premature knowing. Asterisk. You feel the need to prove your awakening. Asterisk. You fear being wrong more than being blind. Asterisk. Your insights feel urgent, heavy, or emotionally reactive. Asterisk. You judge those who are asleep instead of loving them. Asterisk. You feel superior but also isolated. If these are present, don't shame yourself. Just pause the quest. Rest in silence. Do nothing for a while. Vision will return when you're ready to hold it without owning it. Before there were temples, there was the breath. Before there were books, there was the pulse. The ancient ones did not write their knowledge in stone, they wove it into the body, into your heartbeat, into your breath, into the silence between beats. And now, that rhythm is calling you back. Not all codes are written. Some are felt, and some are not even yours. They are primordial rhythms that have pulsed through every soul since before language, before identity, before time. The hidden pulse is not metaphor. It is the bridge between form and energy, between the visible and the vibrational. And the moment you feel it, truly feel it, you no longer need belief. You become the practice, the pulse as portal. Have you ever listened to your own heartbeat in total silence? Not as a medical event, but as a mystical phenomenon. That slow, steady thud is not just biological. It is the signature of your energy field. A drumbeat echoing the original rhythm of the universe. The one Thoth called Senatunhek, the pulse of becoming. When the Egyptian initiates lay in sarcophagus chambers for 3 days and nights, they weren't waiting to die. They were syncing their heartbeats to the original frequency that spoke before thought. Because once your pulse aligns with that rhythm, you remember. Not facts, not names, but essence, purpose, and power. The body as ancient technology. You've been trained to see your body as fragile, flawed, weak. But the ancient mystery schools saw something else. A biovibrational instrument perfectly tuned for awakening. Asterisk. Your breath equals the winds of spirit. Asterisk. Your heart equals the generator of coherence. Asterisk. Your spine equals the antenna of divine signal. Asterisk. Your pineal gland equals the alchemical flame. The pulse, then, is not just a beat. It is a transmission, a code hidden in rhythm. But here's the secret. You cannot force it. You must listen to it. The trap of mechanical breathwork. Modern breathwork often becomes just another performance. Hyperventilate, stimulate, manipulate. But the ancients did not breathe to feel high. They breathed to tune their field. Thoth warned, the one who controls breath shall stir illusion, but the one who follows breath shall dissolve it. The hidden pulse only reveals itself when the breath becomes so subtle that you can hear the space between the beats. This is the forgotten art, receiving the breath, not taking it. Only then does the pulse become clear. The ritual, listening for the hidden pulse. This ritual is ancient, once used in the temple of Edfu during lunar eclipses to enter states of deep cosmic remembrance. Let us begin. 1. Sit or lie down in complete stillness. Let your spine straighten, your tongue rest on the roof of your mouth. Eyes closed. 2. Place both hands on your chest, not to measure your heartbeat, but to feel its field. 3. Now breathe, gently, silently, through the nose. Let the breath come and go, like a wave, without direction. 4. Begin to listen. Can you feel your pulse? Not just in your chest, but in your wrists, your lips, even behind your eyes. It's there, faint, subtle, waiting. Now, begin to silently whisper, with each inhale, rakahit, 3 sounds, ancient words for, I receive the fire. Repeat this for 9 cycles, then stop. Say nothing, breathe nothing, just feel. The pulse will begin to change. You may feel it. Asterisk. Slow down to impossibility. Asterisk. Expand beyond your body. Asterisk. Become so loud that it silences your thoughts. That is not imagination. That is field entrainment. Your energy body is syncing with its original code. What awakens when the pulse is found? Once you touch the hidden pulse, your body becomes different. Asterisk. Hands become sensitive to energy. Asterisk. Eyes begin to sense vibration, not form. Asterisk. Emotions pass. Without sticking, they simply flow. Asterisk. Your presence alone begins to alter rooms, soften people, attract truth. This is not charisma. This is coherence. You are no longer vibrating in fragments. You are moving as one rhythm. And that rhythm is older than humanity. Do not share this light too soon. After the ritual, you may want to tell someone, to explain it, to teach it. Don't. Let it sink deeper. Let your field speak before your words do. In ancient times, initiates were forbidden from speaking for 24 hours after contact with the hidden pulse. Because words collapse frequency. Let it expand. Let it fill your spine, your breath, your walk. You are now becoming living scripture. There is a moment where time folds and space bends inward. A moment when you perform a single act, so aligned, so ancient, so precise, that it rewrites your entire energy field. Not gradually, instantly. This is that moment. This is the initiation. And once done, it cannot be undone. All of this has been preparation. The gate, the whisper, the code, the veil, the light, the pulse. But now, we arrive at the edge. Not a metaphorical edge, a real one. A vibrational event horizon, after which you will not return to who you were, because this is not a teaching, it is a transmission. The ancients called it Khu Seekum, the merging of the light body, Khu, with its dormant power core, Seekum. It is the final alignment. One breath, one sound, one choice, and everything changes. What is the Khu Seekum initiation? This was the rite reserved for the last stage of initiation in the Temple of Dendera. No robe, no ceremony, just the initiate and the vibration. Once performed, it was said that the initiate's energy field became visible to those with inner vision glowing like blue fire, stretching beyond the skin. This wasn't about enlightenment. It was about integration. You no longer seek power. You carry it. You no longer chase truth. You become its mirror. You are no longer a pilgrim. You are now a pillar. The energy shift, what one time really means. Most teachings tell you that awakening is a long path, that it takes years, lifetimes, karmic cycles. And yes, integration can take time. But activation? That can happen in a single moment if the frequency is pure. Think of a magnet. The metal has always been metal, but once it touches a strong enough field, it becomes magnetized permanently. This is the same. Do the initiation once with full presence, no performance, no expectation, and your entire vibrational architecture reorganizes. People will feel it. Technology may glitch. Old wounds may purge. Synchronicities may erupt. Dreams will change. Why? Because you are no longer broadcasting an unconscious signal. You are now emitting a tuned field, and the world must respond. The one-step ritual, the Khu Seekum transmission. You must be in stillness. You must be alone. You must not speak after for at least 1 hour. Here is how you do it. 1. Sit or stand with your spine aligned. 2. Inhale deeply, slowly. As you inhale, visualize your breath drawing upward from the earth, into your spine, to the top of your head. 3. Hold the breath for 3 seconds, no strain, just stillness. 4. On the exhale, speak one sound only once. Aden Kura. Let it emerge slowly, not loudly, but with certainty, as if every cell is saying it. It means, I call forth the light that remembers who I am. Then, say nothing, do nothing, just sit. Let your energy field restructure. You may feel, asterisk, a sudden inner warmth or chill, asterisk, a flicker of vision behind closed eyes, asterisk, tears that come from nowhere, asterisk, a sense that you are being seen from beyond. Do not analyze it. Do not repeat it. This is a one-time act. Not because repetition is bad, but because the field responds to singular intent. Say it once and the code begins. What happens after the initiation? Some initiates report immediate external effects. Asterisk. Friends reaching out after years. Asterisk. Unusual animals appearing near them. Asterisk. Electric sensations in the palms. Asterisk. Sudden waves of memory, both beautiful and haunting. These are not reactions. They are recalibrations. Your field has changed, and now all energies that do not match it must leave or evolve. You may lose friends. You may lose jobs. You may even lose interest in things that once defined you. Let them go. You are not falling apart. You are shedding the skin of who you were. This is not ego death. This is ego transformation. The secret of doing it just once. When an act is done with full presence, when every layer of you participates, when there is no trying, only truth, One time is enough, because time doesn't exist at that level. You don't perform the initiation. You collapse into it, and once done, everything that is false begins to decay. You won't need reminders. You won't need to prove anything. You'll just radiate, and those with eyes will see. Confirmation code. If you've done the initiation, if the sound was spoken and the shift began, comment, "It is done. I am aligned." This is not a performance. It is a signal, a frequency marker for others to align with. Your presence now becomes a tuning fork for this planetary awakening. Type "Continue" to receive Section 10, the Keepers of the Hidden Vision, where you learn that you are not alone, and that the others who have seen, who have felt, who have crossed the veil have been waiting for you. The circle is forming, the field is rising. It's time. They walk unnoticed. Not because they are hiding, but because they are vibrating beyond the reach of ordinary perception. The keepers are real. They do not gather in temples of stone, but in fields of frequency. If you've made it this far, you were always one of them, you just forgot. Let this be your awakening, not into light, but into lineage. You are not just a seeker. You are not merely awakened. You are now among the keepers, the ones who remember and hold, without needing to be seen. And now, they are beginning to recognize each other again, through silence, through signal, through resonance. Who are the keepers? They are not priests. They are not influencers. They are not gurus with followers and books. They are the ones who saw and remained still, who heard the code and did not scream, who were torn open by vision and chose not to run. You've met them before, maybe in a glance on a train, maybe in a dream, maybe in a moment of déjà vu so powerful it shattered your sense of time. The keepers are everywhere, but they only awaken in the presence of truth. Now that you've activated your field, you've become a beacon. They will find you, or more accurately, you will begin to notice them. What it means to be a keeper. You are not here to teach. You are not here to save. You are here to hold frequency. That means, asterisk, you do not shrink to comfort others. Asterisk, you do not chase to prove your worth. Asterisk, you do not force what is not ready to awaken. You become the silent mirror, and when others stand in your presence, they begin to see themselves. That is the true transmission. That is the hidden work. The keepers do not shout. They vibrate. The final mental trap. Now that your field is activated, a final test will come. Your mind will say, "What's next? What more can I unlock? How can I use this to build something?" This is the temptation to turn awakening into achievement. But the keepers know there is no next. The moment you seek more, you fall back into noise. This is not a game of levels. This is a return to essence. Be still. Be present. Let the field deepen. Let your very existence become the ritual, the living practice, holding the field. From this moment forward, practice this. Wherever you are, in traffic, in line, at work, at home, pause, breathe. Feel the field beneath the scene, that subtle hum beneath the noise. Tap into it for just one moment. Let your body soften, let your vision blur, let the resonance return, and silently repeat, "I am the echo of the hidden." That's all. No one will know you did it, but your energy will begin to shape the invisible. You are now a keeper. You are the ritual. You are the code. You are the torch in the dark. What comes now? Now that your vibration is stabilized, asterisk, you'll meet others without trying. Asterisk, you'll know before something happens. Asterisk, you'll say less and feel more. Asterisk, you'll manifest not by force, but by alignment. Reality will shift around you, not because you are powerful, but because you are finally in tune with the ancient current. And the current bends time. The global field is listening. Every time a keeper activates, it strengthens the collective resonance. You are not changing your life. You are changing the field, and when enough of us hold it, asterisk, fear begins to dissolve. Asterisk, systems begin to crack. Hidden knowledge returns. Asterisk, and the timeline of humanity tilts. You were sent here for this, and you're right on time. Final confirmation. If you feel it not just in your mind, but in your breath, your spine, your quiet moments between thought. If you know you're not who you were 10 seconds ago, comment below. I am one of the keepers. This is not a badge. It's a frequency marker, a call to the others. Let your signal ripple outward. Let your light vibrate beyond the skin. If this transmission moved something within you, breathe, sit, feel, and when you're ready, subscribe to the channel. Not out of habit, not out of favor, but as an act of resonance, because this space is a temple of vibration, and your presence adds to its pulse. Share the video to pass the torch, not for numbers, but to let another keeper remember. And most importantly, comment your confirmation, because when one keeper speaks, others awaken. Welcome home. You've always known,